Hi guys. Sorry to miss you today. I hope you're having a great day. We're gonna do a new concept that I think you probably touched on with Mr. Lever last year, if you were with Mr. Lever last year, but very briefly. So this is called elimination, and I do it a little bit differently than these notes are set up. So we're gonna change a few things here and there, but just know that if you learned it a different way, you are welcome to do it the other way. I just find it easier to stick with this one way and keep going in that one way. So I'm going to show you how I do it. And then we'll go from there. And we are going to spend a couple days on this. So if this is a struggle for you today, I will have this video posted in Canvas. You can go back and watch it. But we will also spend a little more time, but it does get a little bit fancier on Monday. Okay, so starting with what is the elimination method? So far we've done graphing, where we graphed two lines and the answer was the point where they meet. We've done substitution, where we isolated one variable, so it was y equals something or x equals something, and then we substituted that something in place of the y or the x. And now today it's elimination. And elimination is solving systems of equations by adding or subtracting. I just do adding. Okay, so you could subtract them. I'm not going to show you the subtraction way because I don't want it to get confusing. I stick with adding because I think it is less confusing, but you could technically do subtracting. We're just not going to. So solving systems by adding to eliminate a variable. Okay, and think about what it means to eliminate something. We are trying to get rid of. We want X or Y to go away completely in the problem so that we can solve for the other one. And then once we know what that one is, we can solve for the second variable that was in our original equations. So step one is make sure your equations are lined up. We usually do these in standard form, okay? So I will show you what standard form looks like over here. It would be ax plus by equals c. I'll show you down below what I mean by that. Step one, make sure they're lined up and in standard form. Step two, this is where I add, okay? Technically you can subtract, but I'm not going to. Okay, we're going to add the equations to eliminate the variable with opposite, cross out common, coefficients. Okay, and remember in math, opposites, like the opposite of the number 2 would be the number -2, right? The opposite of a -4 would be a +4. So we're going to try to make whatever holds the place of like this A and this B, we're going to try to make one of them opposite of the A or B associated with it. And that will make more sense once we get going. But I just want you to have the steps written down for now. All right, so that's step two. Step three is you are going to solve for the remaining variable. And then step four, we actually bring substitution back in. So you are going to substitute your answer into either original equation and then solve for the other variable. Okay, so here's where I'm going to have you change your problems a little bit because of the way that I like to do it, but we're not quite to the fancy part of this yet. So I know what you see here. We're going to skip number 1 for now. We're going to look at number 2, but I want you to rewrite it. Okay, I want you to write the first equation exactly how you see it. But then I want you to write your second equation with opposite things out in front here. So a negative x plus y equals a negative 3. Okay, so just pretend that you never even got this problem. We're going to say the problem started like this. So x plus 4y equals 13, and then negative x plus y equals a negative 3. Okay, so this is the problem to start with. What I want you to notice is this problem starts with opposite coefficients to your x's, because essentially there's a 1 in front of x, and there's a negative 1 in front of that bottom x, okay? When those are opposites, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a big equal bar, and we are going to add, and we are always gonna add, these two equations together, okay? So starting here, 1x plus a negative 1x is 0. So this is going to be a 0. You don't have to put a 0 in there right now because there's going to be other things here, but just know that that is equal to 0. So essentially it's just going to go away for us. Excuse me. So call it 0 if you want, but you don't need to put a 0 in. Then we move on to our second column. Okay, this column here is 4y and y, and we are adding them together. So 4y plus, this would be 1y, is 5y. Okay, so we got rid of the first part. That's 0. Now we have a 5y on the left. Now you bring down your equal sign, because you've got your equal signs here. Okay, and now you move to the right side. And again, we're going to add them together. 13 plus a negative 3. So 13 plus negative 3 is 10. And now you have 5y equals 10. Notice we eliminated. We got rid of our x variable. So now we can solve for y. How we do that is isolate the y. So we're going to divide by 5 to get that 5 out of there. That's a 1. And now you have y equals 2. Okay. Okay, now I scribbled all over my equations, but we had two original equations here. I'm just going to rewrite them here just so you can see them. X plus 4y equals 13, and negative x plus y equals negative 3. Those were the two equations that we started with, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to pick one of those equations and you're going to substitute your y equals 2 in place of it. So I would probably, I don't know, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to put it in the top one just because there's less negatives involved. So I'm going to put it right here. So it's going to be x plus 4 times that 2 that we just found equals 13. Okay, now solve that. X plus 8 equals 13, and we're going to take away 8 from both sides. So x equals, and then 13 minus 8, and you are more than welcome to plug this into a calculator at any time. 13 minus 8 is 5. So you have a y value of 2 and an x value of 5, okay? Here's what I want to see then. Your answer is the 0.52. Okay. So that's our first problem. All right, let's move on to the next problem. And again, I'm going to change the problem. So you're going to keep in this number 3, you're going to keep 3x minus 10y equals 14. Okay, but we're not using this system over here. And then you're going to change this one to negative 3x plus 9y equals negative 15. We're not going to use this one. Okay, and just to be clear, this is how your problem would start for me, so that they're already opposites. And here's what we're going to do. Okay, in order to eliminate, we said we want our coefficients to be opposites of each other. So look here, you have a positive 3x and you have a negative 3x. Those are opposites. So we're gonna, right now, add these two equations together and see what we end up with. 3x plus a negative 3x is 0. So that's gonna go away. Okay, move over to here. Negative 10y plus 9y is a negative 1y. Okay, now bring down your equal sign. Equals, equals, equals. And now we add again. 14 plus a negative 15. So 14 plus negative 15 is a negative 1. And now we have eliminated. X is no more. So we're just looking at the y right now, and we're going to solve for y. So we're going to divide by negative 1 and divide by negative 1. And I get y equals, because this would be 1, negative 1 divided by negative 1 is a positive 1. Okay, so our y value is 1. Okay, now go back up to our original equation. I'm going to plug into the top one, but you may plug it into either one, and it will look like this. 3 times x minus 10 times 1 equals 14. Okay, so now your setup, when you simplify this, is going to be 3x minus 10 equals 14. We're going to add the 10. So 3x equals, that's 0. 14 plus 10 is 24. And then your last step, you're going to divide by 3. So x is 8. And you get an answer. Now notice that's an x value. This one over here is a y value. So your answer is the point 8, 1. Because we always put x and then y, right? A point is always x, comma, y. So x first, that's 8. Y second, that's 1. Okay. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to number 6. Notice these are opposites already. So you are going to add these two equations together. Okay, and I'm going to ask the sub to pause real fast, or if you're watching this from home because you were absent, go ahead and pause and try this problem for a couple minutes here. And then when you unpause, I will walk you through it. Okay, so if we add these together, negative 3y plus 3y is 0. So let's add here. 10x plus a negative 2x is 8x. Bring down your equal sign. 18 plus 6 is 24. So you have 8x equals 24. Looks familiar. We're going to then divide by 8, and we get x equals 3. Okay, now you have a choice to make. We're going to plug that x back into one of the other equations. Let's try the bottom one this time. So I'm going to plug it back in here, and this is substitution. I'm going to take this 3, and I'm going to plug it in right here. So negative 2 times 3 plus 3 times y equals 6. Okay, Okay, so take a look at what I just did. I took this x equals 3 and I just dropped it in place of x because I know that's what x equals, so I'm going to substitute. Okay? Excuse me. Okay, simplify this. Negative 6 plus 3y equals 6. And now we're going to add 6. So you get 0 here. 3y equals 12. And then we divide by 3. And you get y equals 4. Okay, so your answer is the point 3, 4. Is that what you got? Hopefully.
Housekeeping.
Hello. Okay, then the next one, number 7. This one, again, you already have opposites. So we're going to add these together. So you have x plus 3x is 4x. This is 0. This one you have 10 plus 18. So bring that equal down. That's 28. Okay, so we have now eliminated the y portion. Now we want to get rid of that 4 out in front so we can figure out what x is. So divide by 4. And you get x equals 7. Okay, and again, now you have the option to choose where you want to plug this into. You can plug it into either one of them. I'm going to plug it into the top one. So if x is 7, it's 7 minus y equals 10. So I'm going to get that 7 out of there. Take away 7. And you get negative y equals 3. Okay, your next step is divide by -1 or multiply by -1 would be fine also. And you're left with y equals a -3. Okay, that means your final answer here then is 7, -3. Okay. Okay, last one. I'm going to have you try one more of these. Excuse me. And we're going to change this question, number 10. So it's going to start 3x minus 4y equals -10. And then instead of this equation, you're going to write -3x plus 4y equals a positive 13. So scratch this one out and pretend this is the problem you're starting with. And I want you to try this one on your own. So go ahead and pause again. I'm going to have you try it on your own. And when you come back, we'll see how you did. Tell your neighbor what you get and what you think is going on in this one, because this one's a little bit different, a little bit unique. All right. So maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't. These are opposites right here. But these are also opposites, right? They're both opposites. So if we're going to add these two equations together, you get 3x plus a -3x is 0. And then you get -4y plus 4y is also 0. So you have your equal sign here, but we got to just put a 0 over here if there's nothing left. Okay, so if there's nothing there, put the 0 in. If only one of them zeroes out, then you don't have to put the 0 in. But if that's the only thing on that side of the equation, make sure you write in the 0. And then on the right side, you have -10 plus 13, right? We're still using that plus sign. So that's going to be 3. Now, you saw this the other day with substitution. When 0 is equal to 3, that's not equal. Do you remember what the answer is on that? That is no solution. Okay, so if both of your variables, your x's and your y's, both go away, this would be no solution. Do you remember when it's infinitely many solutions? If it came out to like 3 equals 3 where it was true, then that would be infinitely many solutions, or you can do the infinity symbol, or you can just write the words infinitely many solutions. Okay. Okay, so your homework for tonight is a PDF like normal, but I did change some of the problems if they weren't already opposite coefficients for us. So just do the new ones that are written in, not the ones that are scratched out, and use those as your starting equations, and then you should be good to go. You have, hopefully at this point, a decent chunk of time to try some of these out. Work with your neighbor. Ask for help if you need help. There is someone around you that knows what they're doing and can help you out. So just ask for help if needed. And hopefully this clicks. And if it is a struggle, give it your best shot, and we'll go back over it on Monday. All right. Have a great weekend.